The member from Chatham will come to order. New question, the member from Simcoe Grey.
Speaker, my question is for the Premier. Premier Colin Anderson from the Ontario Power Authority said that your gas plant Oakville decision is at least $310 million. That's 8 times the amount you stood and told this House. Mr. Speaker, Ontarians are disgusted. And what's even more disgusting is the Premier's arrogance by saying this week that this House only gets one confidence vote, and that will be the budget. That's her decision. Forget the parliamentary rights of the rest of you. Well, Mr. Speaker, the budget to be tabled will be overseen by a Premier who's been rather liberal with the truth, and it will be tabled by a...
Stop the clock, please. You can't say indirectly what you can't say indirectly, so I'm asking the member to withdraw.
Withdraw, Mr. Speaker. And it will be tabled by a Minister of Finance whose seat was bought by one of the gas plant decisions. So I ask the Premier, do you honestly believe that this House has confidence in your government? If so, then why don't you call the non-confidence motion right now and test your theory?
Seated, please. Thank you. The Minister of Energy, come to order, please. Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I've been very clear on the issue of confidence. I believe that the budget is an imminent and an important opportunity for the legislature to express confidence or non-confidence in the government, Mr. Speaker. I really hope that the members opposite will read the budget and then they will make their decision, Mr. Speaker. I just want to say this, Mr. Speaker. I will appear before the committee this afternoon, but whether I'm in this House, whether I'm in the hall speaking to media, whether I'm at an event in some part of the province, I always tell the truth, Mr. Speaker, the truth that I know. Absolutely. The members opposite are in a position, Mr. Speaker, today that they want to undermine that statement. But the reality is that is the truth, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Well, Premier, you chaired the meeting where the Oakville cancellation was approved. You signed off on the cabinet minute approving the cancellation of the Oakville plant. You stood in this House and you told us a dollar number that you knew was not the whole truth. Colin Anderson said just a few minutes ago downstairs in committee that everyone knew the true cost and that was much higher than what the Liberal Party and what you yourself have admitted. So Mr. Speaker, I ask the Premier, who's telling the truth? Your
Minister of Social Services, come to order.
Stood up as an expert and said that we should respect a longtime civil servant Colin Anderson, or you, the Premier? Are you telling the truth when you didn't know the true cost? Or is Colin Anderson telling the truth, which he just said under oath?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So, I didn't...
Thank you. Premier.
That Colin Anderson was telling the truth, absolutely. We called the OPA to committee, Mr. Speaker, to answer questions about the Oakville cost. This morning, as I understand it, the OPA provided 2 different cost estimates, Mr. Speaker. Both estimates differ from what the OPA previously advised the government, Mr. Speaker. That makes the case, Mr. Speaker, that it's extremely important that we have the Auditor General look at the books and determine the cost, Mr. Speaker. That is why I called and asked the Auditor General to look at the Oakville situation. That's why I asked the Auditor General to look at it, Mr. Speaker, because of the complexity that the Minister of Energy was talking about, because of the complexity that Colin Anderson...
The member from Halton, come to order. The member from Prince Edward Hastings, come to order.
And he will probably find his seat. I have told the truth as I have understood it. I will continue to do that today and at committee, Mr. Speaker.
You seated, please. You seated, please. Thank you. Final supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, I want to be clear. The Premier stood in this House on September 24th, 2012, and said directly that the costs of Oakville were $40 million. The Liberals screamed and howled every time we, the Tories, said that wasn't true. Now, we can understand the Liberals wanting to buy off the NDP in an attempt to cling to power during the budget discussions, but what we can't understand on this side of the House is why it's in the best interest of taxpayers or the 500,000 people unemployed in this province to keep this government going to anyway prop up this government. Mr. Speaker, the Liberals have been caught red-handed and red-faced. Won't you get up now and apologize to the people of Ontario for not telling them the whole truth? You have an opportunity to do that. You have an opportunity to save what little reputation you have. Apologize and call the non-confidence vote.
Be seated, please. Thank you. Premier?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I think that the complexity that Colin Anderson from the OPA talked about this morning makes it very clear that waiting for the Auditor General's report is extremely important in this case. What I want to say to the people of Ontario, Mr. Speaker, is that I regret that this situation has come to this. I regret that we are in this situation. We collectively, Mr. Speaker, because every party in this House said that they wanted to make sure that these cancellations happen, Mr. Speaker. The complexity was not going to go away if it had been the PCs who had been implementing the decision or if it had been the NDP who were implementing the decision. The complexity around the costs of these cancellations was going to be in place no matter who implemented the decision. We implemented it, Mr. Speaker. At every juncture, we were given information. That's the information that I relayed whenever I spoke on the issue, Mr. Speaker. And when I came into this office, I said, we've got to get these questions answered. That's why we opened up the process. That's why the committee has had the opportunity to ask these questions.